What's up, everybody? It is me, KiNGAlpha. Hope everybody's doing great. So, obviously, I want to say thank you for all the comments and everything on the last video about the tertios and the musket, all the favorite musket units. I'm gonna put up in, I don't know whether I'm gonna put it this area or this area, whether my favorite comments for the comments about Imperial muskets and tertios, and it was actually surprising. There was barely any creeks. I don't even think there was a creek. Creeks Fusilier's comment, which is crazy. But the next question, I would say thank you for all those people that did comment, and I definitely appreciate you guys putting in the effort to let me know why they're your favorite units. Definitely, it was a tie between tertios and imperial muskets. But now the favorite is, well, the biggest question right now is, what is your favorite shock troop? Give me them answers, please. Let me know down in the comment section below. Personally, one of my favorite shock troops are the Sarags, or Tesserags, like I call them. They're just one of my favorite, and Condos as well. One of my two favorite ones, but obviously give your answers away. Also, for people as well, if you guys don't know, I have a KiNGAlpha code down in the comment section below, or the description, and there's also my Twitch as well in case you want to check me out whenever I stream. Let's get into this. So this is going to be the ultimate glaive guide. I know this took a little bit of time to actually talk about this and everything, and I know I've been holding out on doing this for a while, and it's honestly my fault, so I'm very sorry for not constantly uploading new things. But I'm going to be coming in with the hero guides. I'm going to be coming in with the unit guides as well. So let's just jump straight into it. I just feel like, why not just starting off the video with the kung fu pose right thing, bing bing. Let's get into it. So guys, I'm finally hit orange. I have not been playing as much as I've been wanting to. More or less the game, I think towards the end of the season, I kind of start dying down and playing the game as I do in the beginning of the season. Usually the beginning of the season I start playing a lot more. However, we're going to be going over the ultimate glaive guide. This is going to be basically everything. This is going to be attributes, stats, the stats you're going to want to look for as well on your glaive. The best armor set and the skills that I prefer to use. And like I always say, for any guide, any guide, please know this is what I feel is the best for me as a player. I've adapted to using this build, and it's actually worked out a lot for me. Other people can play Glaive a total different way. Full armor, full freaking agility, full strength, full toughness, whatever. Different skills, all of that type of stuff. It is all based off your playstyle. So if you like this build, I hope it works out for you. But if you don't, then I'm very sorry. And I hope that you can at least take something from this guide and at least put it towards your build and everything. There's also going to be a little bit of gameplay as well that I'm going to try and put in. So I'm not going to be talking so much because I don't want the video to be like stupid long and all that type of stuff as well. Now, let's get into the build. So basically, I'm going to be going full strength. Now, I know some people, they're like, wait, whoa, full strength, no armor. Personally, I feel you don't need armor as much with Glaive when you're going full heavy armor set, because the defenses alone are basically almost 800 all around for defenses when you have a full heavy armor set, plus whatever stats you get as well for defense. However, the biggest thing for me is the blunt damage. The blunt damage needs to be super high. All of Glaive's skills basically go off of blunt damage. And it's just one of the big things where the ult, which is the Flying Reaper, is the most important part, which goes off blunt damage. So you need as much blunt damage as possible. So that's why I'm going to be going into full strength. And I know it's crazy, no armor at all or nothing. Personally, I feel like I still have a lot of survivability with the fact that I am full heavy armor and full strength. Now, one thing I will say is you can go like two sets of heavy armor and then two set of medium armor. I've tried it before. It's nice, but still, I just personally feel like the full heavy set like just makes me overall really tanky and still popping heroes for at least 11 to 12,000 on ults. One thing as well I would say is that even if you go full medium armor set, yeah, you can get 2k extra damage or some more depending on how good your glaive is, but personally I enjoyed the full armor set. So we're going to go into the full strength here. Now we're going to go into the actual burner that I have. We're going to go over the runes as well. So with Glaive, the biggest things that you want to look for is strength, blunt damage, and blunt armor penetration, which I basically got all of that. Crit value is really great as well, in case you can get those back hits off the ult or whatever. And especially with Breaker of Shields as well, it's really good with crit value too. But biggest key things that you want on your burner is the strength, blunt damage, and blunt armor penetration. Slashing damage and slashing armor penetration is all right, but you really want to look for the blunt damage. The blunt damage is where the burner excels, and basically the glaive excels. As well, in terms of the runes that you want to use, you have, if your health falls below 50%, damage taken reduced by 10%. One thing I will say is they do have the heated battle now reduces damage taken by 20%, but I don't prefer to use that skill at all. They also have Halo Blades now cannot be interrupted. That ult is almost just, it's a cool ult, but it just doesn't do what the Flying Reaper can do. I keep saying like Grim Reaper, but Flying Reaper cannot do. As well, as you can see, I am also adding extra blunt damage. So with the fact that I have 3, 2, and 1, I just added extra blunt damage. I know I can add crit value or anything, but I'm trying to get as much damage out of my ults as humanly possible. So then going over to the guardsman helmet, I come over to the guardsman helmet, I get the increased health by 800, and then after death, nearby allies will recover 10% health. This is not only for me, but this is also for the allies around me and my units. But the 800 health really helps out a lot, and then extra blunt damage again. And I know you're like, whoa, you're not adding any health, or you're not adding some of the other stuff. Personally, I just feel like, you know, everything around for the helmet is just not as good as if you use just regular blunt damage and everything as well, because you're basically increasing all the stats. My blunt damage is 1,000, my blunt armor penetration is almost 1,000 as well. Slashing damage and everything as well is pretty good. So when you're doing like those auto attacks and everything, it's really nice. So come off this. And for the chest piece as well. So I do have the increased damage dealt by 5%, and then after death, nearby allies will deal 15% more damage. This is still really great. It's all for my team and my units around me. Increased health by 600. I was really deciding whether to change this and put either blunt armor penetration or do crit value or do the reduced damage taken. But personally, just the extra health, like I always say, you just never know when that 600 extra health can actually come in handy. And then the extra blood damage again for the ult. And then these obviously just don't matter. I actually need to recondition my stuff. So those are the biggest things that I prefer to use: the runes and the build. I have 102 strength, which is amazing. Gives you a lot of slashing damage and blunt damage as well. But now we're going to go over the skills. So some of the big things is, this is my build. I enjoy this build because of the units that I use as well. But if you're trying to play a deathmatch Glaive, there's obviously a different build that you can use if you really want to. So if you really don't prefer Gods of Battle, which I really enjoy Gods of Battle, which I'm gonna make sure that I actually take off my camera here so that you guys can actually see everything. I don't want that I get in the way of anything here. So Gods of Battle, honestly, one of the best skills personally I feel for Glaive, because there's so many things that you can use with Gods of Battle. It's not only for you and your heroes, it's for you and your units, and this gives you a 15% increase in damage and like attack power, which is amazing, and it lasts for 10 seconds and only has a 24-second cooldown. So by the time this Gods of Battle is done, the cooldown on Gods of Battle will be basically only 14 seconds, which is not that much. And it's just one of those amazing skills that you can use with DPS. You can use with unit charges and everything like that. And I personally feel this does boost. This is a team playing type skill. Now I will say the other 3 skills, where it's Warlord's Greeting, Breaker of Shields, and Flying Reaper, personally, I would not change this, and it's mainly just that first skill that you really want to, just change up because of the fact that like there's different play styles you could put. So the only things that I would really change from Gods of Battle would either be Arc of Steel, which is pretty cool. It's a really nice skill. It's immune to being dazed as well. And it does do a little decent amount of damage. The cooldown is 20 seconds though, so it's a pretty big cooldown, and it's actually really annoying. But then you also have the charge. The charge is great as well. And this is my second guide on Glaive, but I know the guide that I made before the runes came out and all that type of stuff. So I obviously want to make sure that I get you guys with a new guide. So Personally, like I said, I would change this skill out for either Arc of Steel or Charge if you really don't like the Gods of Battle. I prefer Gods of Battle the entire time though, because of the massive boost that you can give to all the units and your heroes. Even in Deathmatch, this works as well because you boost all the heroes around you. Um, One thing I want to do say about Warlord's Greeting is the fact that Warlord's Greeting is one of those skills where it is basically hit or miss. Like you need to make sure this is one of those big skills that you hit, because if you don't hit this skill, you kind of mess up the entire like combo basically, because this skill concusses the enemy, and unless they have something that removes their concuss, it doesn't allow you to go into a Flying Reaper or a Breaker of Shields. And it's just one of those big skills that you need to ensure that you land every time. But one of the most amazing skills, it's on a 12-second cooldown as well. It's honestly awesome. This does go off your slashing damage as well, so this is actually really good for the fact that I do have like 2000 slashing damage, so Warlord's Greeting does do a lot of damage as well. Then we come over here, which is the Breaker of Shields. This is basically the assassination of the class as well, after you do either Flying Reaper or if you do Warlord's Greeting and then Breaker of Shields, like if the person's really low. This is a big assassination. You always want to make sure that you actually hit the guy in the back of the because you want that big crit value hit, and you mainly only do the first hit as well. I will say that the second hit you can't always land because they can roll out of it. So definitely want to make sure you get that first hit off though. And it does remove dazed effect as well. I know some people don't know what that means, but like basically just if you get like just stun locked for a second, you can actually get out of that if you use this skill, and you can roll out or anything. I know some people you can use this offensively, but you can also use it very defensively if you need to get out as well. And basically, like I said, this goes off blunt damage, so this is going off of your blunt damage, and then the second hit does go off your slashing damage. Then you have Flying Reaper, one of the big freaking skills. Now this skill is not only for heroes, this skill is also for units as well, and it's honestly has a crazy span of damage all around as well. It has a very large AoE. Sometimes I'm behind a Glaive sometimes and they do the ult and I get hit and I'm like, whoa, like that's crazy. But also, so all enemies will be struck to the ground, and then enemies struck also take 10% more damage for 4 seconds. So one of the big things is the combo that you do is Warlord's Greeting, then Flying Reaper, and then Breaker of Shields, because that ultimately just kills the hero in 2 or 3 shots, especially if it's a light armor or medium armor hero. You can really pop heroes off for loads of damage all around, and it's honestly amazing. So you'll see that in the gameplay as well, what I do use in terms of everything here. So let's get into the last bit that I want to really show, is the unit build. So I did this last time. I'm make sure that I don't go over 700 leadership. Maybe I'll do it for like one round that I go above 700 leadership. But some of the this is going to be for beginners, and one of the big things that you need to push for in beginners, when you guys should be pushing for these units, and you guys need to make sure that you obviously are going to be working towards better units, because it's very easy now in the beginning of the game to get these units per se. And I'm not going to do any seasonal units, because if I do seasonal units, people are going to be like, dude, I don't have those units, or can you show me units that are easier to get or something? So I'm definitely just showing units that everybody can get and that it's not too hard to actually get. So one thing is, you will get Perfection Guards. Perfection Guards are absolutely amazing. But if you don't prefer Perfection Guards and you actually want to go for a unit that per se is like just good, like Halberdiers, I know you get Halberdiers immediately almost. You could choose it right off the bat, and Halberdiers are actually one of the most amazing blue units to actually have. And I actually forgot to actually turn on my camera as well, so I'm very sorry for that. So Halberdiers is one of the best units as well in the beginning. Their brace is obviously awesome. But if you want to go for a DPS, and I know people are going to be like, dude, Namkins. Not everybody has Namkins immediately. So either do Rattan Marksman or your Incendiary Archers. Incendiary Archers, I always say this, they're great. Especially for their leadership and everything, until you get Namkins. Namkins are obviously better. And then you have Rattan Marksman, which are really fun. Dude, these guys are so fun in the beginning of the game. I love these guys. They shoot so fast too when they're maxed out. And it's overall just a great loadout. But if you're a glaive, and personally as a glaive, I like to either use some type of shock unit or a unit that I could boost around. This is the type of unit composition I would want. If you personally don't want to go for spear sergeants, and I know a lot of people say, I go for spear sergeants because they can turn into stalwarts, which are a great unit. And definitely want to go and grab those men at arms so that you can change those into paladins as well. But that's the biggest reason why I'm not putting those units in. This is for beginners when they first join the game and they're going through the honor nodes instead of just going through the seasonal units. Now we're going to add in some seasonal units. This is for the players that are, they've been playing for a little while. They want to know what's the best really thing to run with Glaive. And they have the units, they have stalwarts, they have paladins. So some of the best unit compositions, I feel that it helps me out, and I personally enjoy using these. I don't use stalwarts as much, but I'm saying for everybody else that I know how strong stalwarts can be. So you do stalwarts, and then you do javelins. Dude, javelins, guys. Either whichever jab you actually prefer, whether it's javelin sergeants or whether it's it's the Imperial jabs, all based off your playstyle. But personally, as a unit killing person, like I enjoy killing units. Javelin sergeants by far are amazing. They can stop cav charges. They can stop a lot of charges. They can assassinate heroes if people are pushing up towers or they're clumped up. These javelins do great. They can also chuck javelins over the wall. They are honestly one of the best javelin units in the game. I think I really enjoyed Imperial Jabs the entire time, and then I found out about these, and I really learned how to use these guys, and they were amazing. One thing as well, you know how strong spear sergeants are. They're still one of the strongest spear shields in the game. They just honestly negate a lot of the other shields. Shield maidens do bash over through them, but like I said, shield maidens, they overall, unless shield maidens have great support, stalwarts can their stalwarts still just annihilate everything. And then for the next unit, and I always say this, and personally it's something that I would really recommend for people, is try and do it where you bring in 2 infantry and then 1 DPS. And I know there's people that also do cav, so maybe do an infantry, cav, and DPS, or 2 infantry and a cav, or 2 cav and a DPS if you could fit it, because I know the good cav is expensive. So this is one thing that I would suggest for a glaive player as well. You can boost your Namcans when you're using them, and you can boost your jabs while using them, and you can also boost your stalwarts while using them as well. You can also open things up for your stalwarts, you can open things up for your javelins, and you can also open up things for your Namcans in terms of boosting these guys. So it's one of the big things that I'm gonna say, like, this is based off your playstyle. This is you coming into siege battles trying to engage with your glaive for all around teammates, and basically having it where you're able to push a point. You're also able to harass with javelin sergeants, but also harass with Namcans as well. And I know a lot of people do love Namcans, and this is 675 leadership. So this isn't, I haven't even gotten to the point where you actually have extra leadership and you can actually put in some 3 purples if you want. So this is the part where we get into the 3 purples, or even I'm going to say a legendary, a purple, and a blue. So one of the big things I love to do is either do tertios or PVs. So you guys already know I've been using my tertios like crazy, and one of my favorite builds to actually use is tertios. You go javelin sergeants, and then you can actually fit in another good blue if you really want to. And I love to do condos, and then I could put in my hammer bros. If I have hammer bros, I can really do it. But this is only 710 leadership, so 710 leadership to put in a gold jab unit and and the condos as well. If you really want to, and if you have a little bit of extra leadership and you want to go for a 240 unit, do ASAPs, do the Sarags, you could do the Berserkers. By far the Berserkers have become one of my favorite things, and this is what I've been actually using a lot in terms of boosting up units. Especially if you boost up Berserkers, they can do an insane damage. But there's so many builds that can be used with the glaive that makes it an all-around class that is good for boosting DPS, boosting infantry, boosting whatever you can. And I know there's also people that do enjoy cav, so if you want to do like this, hussars, berserkers, condos, you can fit that in with 725 leadership and everything like that. So, or liaos, whatever people really do prefer. in terms of cav as well. I'm not a cav player, you guys know that, so that's why I never really incorporate cav into the gameplay. You can do either Iron Reapers as well or Shield Maidens. Like I said, Shield Maidens, they all right, they're all right. You really got to learn how to use these chicks in order for them to be really, really good. So just want to really throw out there. As well with Glaive, Silidars are a great pick as well because you can boost these Silidars and you can actually create a lot of openings for these Silidars as well. Just the only thing about Silidars is their leadership. Their leadership is really high, which is just the annoying bit. But I'm gonna do a build that is all purple. So do the Stalwarts and the Berserkers, and then you can also do the Javelins. If you have 730 leadership, you can fit all of these guys in, and it actually creates one of those things where it's all around really good. And I know there's also going to be people that do this where they love their armor gears because of how cheesy they are. So you can also throw in armor gears if you really want to, if you have the leadership, or reduce the stalwarts down to maybe, the Fort Braccio. You want to bring in Fort Braccio. That's 710, or you can even do the Imperial Pikes, and boom. That's a build that people can use, and it's pretty simple, it's pretty easy to use, and it has a mix of basically everything except for one DPS. One thing I will say as well is I forgot that I didn't bring in really much DPS into here, but I prefer the Imperial Archers as my best DPS. I love the musket units, don't get me wrong, but after using Tertius with Rate of Fire, I don't really use these two. And then Imperial Archers still overall, when you get Doctrines on them, they're just absolutely insane. But that is basically it for right now, guys. I hope this guide helped you out. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the gameplay. I'm gonna put some gameplay, you guys can watch it, and it's gonna be just basically snippets of everything, whether it's snippets of just moments that I've had with Glaive, or just nice little fighting moments that I had with Glaive, or multiple kills with Glaive. I definitely use jabs as well, so I want you guys to hopefully enjoy the gameplay. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you guys think about the build overall, whether that build really works for you or not and everything. And I appreciate everybody that does watch this video and even has watched it till the end. So that's the big thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and I hope everything works out for you. Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you for the next guide, man. Deuces. Oh, up there already. What are they doing? What the hell? No, my freaking condos were like sitting there, just.
The right siege tower is advancing.
Come on, come on, come on.
I know, let's introduce a really loud sound that, like, makes everybody deaf.
What? Dude, these chicks are like really bad in Cover Commander.
Oh, there's Namkhans in and left, I didn't realise. Okay, they're dead.
Seriously?
When they're fighting and then combat, unfortunately.
Oh, here we go. Oh man. Oh my game's freaking laggy. They held their own right there. I'll give them that. They really did. They really held their own right there. I mean, versus what was there, they held their own. I just, like I said though, like the fact that now like most of them are really low in health, like
Where are you? Left or right?
I'm on the right side, pushing right now. Come on, Treb, hit it. Treb, hit it. Come on, Treb, hit this. The bloody hell, Treb. Seriously? Stop the trip shots. Dude.
Siege tower is defensive.
I like how in this game though, they're so afraid about like making like infantry units so OP. Like have they ability?
Come back. Come back if you
Oh,
can.
come on.
They don't fucking charge like, oh yeah.
Nice. Third right.
Yeah, we cleared it, we cleared it. There we go, there we go. Easy, easy. All that arrow rain, boy. Let's go.
Yeah,
No, I'm in a siege right now.
So we'll try to get everybody out there. I can see a bunch of people are fielding them, so it's not just us fighting back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Marmalade. I would help right now, but I can't.
What's all this talk?
No, they're fielding outside of
Where?
No Man's.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I figured you guys were in.
There you go. We're getting the top side now. Oh, snap, they don't... What are my jobs doing?